She demanded, "If you don't buy me this $5,000 bag, you can't come to my birthday dinner. I don't date broke men." I replied, "Have fun without me." Then I used that $5,000 to upgrade my flight to first class for a solo vacation. When she saw my story, drinking champagne while she was stuck paying her own tab. Alright, so this literally just wrapped up yesterday. Figured I'd share because this community would appreciate the pettiness level achieved. Context time. I'm 29, software developer, making around $120K annually, which is solid money in my city. Been seeing this girl, Melissa, 26, for about 4 months now. Met her at a rooftop bar through coworkers and she seemed cool initially. Emphasis on seemed. Melissa works in event planning and makes decent money, but has expensive tastes that don't always align with her budget. Designer, everything, luxury lifestyle, constant social media flexing. I noticed early on she was always showcasing stuff she couldn't really afford, but didn't think much of it at first. Here's where I probably should have seen the writing on the wall. Third date. Melissa casually mentioned how her ex used to buy her designer handbags and jewelry for special occasions, not asking me to do the same, just letting me know what she was accustomed to. Red flag number 1 that I stupidly ignored. By month 2, Melissa was dropping hints about wanting certain items for her birthday, which was coming up at the end of the month. Started sending me links to jewelry websites and handbag collections with captions like "so pretty" and heart eye emojis. I'm not stupid. I knew what she was doing. The expectations escalated quickly after that. Comments about how men who really care about their girlfriends make sure they feel special on important days. How she'd never had a boyfriend who wasn't generous with gifts. How her friends always got amazing presents from their partners. I made my position clear early. I'm generous with experiences and thoughtful gifts, but I'm not dropping thousands on material items to prove my feelings. If she wanted expensive accessories, she could buy them herself or find someone else who enjoyed being a human ATM. Melissa didn't love that response, but seemed to accept it initially. Said she understood my perspective and appreciated honesty about financial boundaries. I thought we'd moved past the gold digger vibes, but apparently she was just strategizing. 2 weeks ago, Melissa's birthday planning went into overdrive. She booked dinner at this upscale steakhouse downtown for her friend group, made reservations at some trendy cocktail bar afterward, started talking about her birthday outfit and how excited she was for the celebration. The guest list was around 15 people, including her college friends, work colleagues, and some influencer types she'd met through event planning. I was obviously invited and expected to help with costs since I was her boyfriend and she was the birthday girl. Last weekend, we were shopping together when Melissa dragged me into a luxury department store. Said she wanted to look at handbags, even though she wasn't planning to buy anything. Just window shopping, she claimed while steering us toward the designer section. That's where she saw it. This ridiculous Chanel bag that probably costs more than some people's cars. Melissa literally stopped walking and stared at this thing like it was the Holy Grail. Started taking photos from every angle and reading the product description aloud. "This is perfect," she said, picking up the bag and posing with it. "This would go with everything in my wardrobe, and it's a classic investment piece that holds its value." I looked at the price tag. $5,000 for a handbag. Not $500 or $1,500, but 5 full thousands for something to carry lip gloss and car keys. I started laughing because I thought she was joking. "You're not serious about that price, right?" Melissa wasn't laughing. "It's Chanel. This is actually reasonable for their quality and craftsmanship. Some of their bags cost twice this much." I told her if she wanted to spend $5,000 on a purse, that was her choice, but I wasn't participating in that level of financial insanity. We had different ideas about money, and that was fine, but she shouldn't expect me to fund her luxury fantasies. That's when Melissa started her manipulation routine. Talked about how her birthday was coming up and she'd been working really hard lately, how she deserved something special and had never asked me for anything major before. How couples support each other's happiness. I reminded her that 4 months wasn't long enough to be making $5,000 gift demands, that I'd already planned to get her something thoughtful for her birthday, but it wouldn't be designer accessories. She could appreciate whatever I chose or find someone else to exploit. Melissa got quiet after that, said she needed to think about things and would talk to me later. I figured she was processing the reality check about my spending limits. Should have known she was planning something more manipulative. Thursday night, Melissa called with her ultimatum. She'd been thinking about our relationship and realized we had fundamental compatibility issues around generosity and showing appreciation, that she needed a partner who understood how to make her feel valued. "If you don't buy me this bag, you can't come to my birthday dinner. I don't date broke men." I sat there for a second, processing what I just heard. This woman was holding her own birthday party hostage unless I dropped $5,000 on a handbag. The audacity was actually impressive in its boldness. "Have fun without me." 3 words that apparently she wasn't expecting because she immediately started backtracking. Said she didn't mean it exactly like that and we could discuss other options. Maybe I could put the bag on a payment plan or borrow money from family. I cut her off before she could dig herself deeper into gold digger territory. Told her she'd made herself very clear about what kind of relationship she wanted. Someone who paid $5,000 for birthday gifts wasn't someone I was interested in being. Wait, you're serious? You're going to let our relationship end over money? You already ended it when you made financial demands instead of appreciating the person I actually am. Melissa tried a different approach. Started crying about how hurt she was, that I didn't value our relationship enough to make a meaningful gesture, how she'd thought I was different from other guys, but apparently I was just as selfish as everyone else. I told her the only selfish person in this conversation was the one making $5,000 demands after 4 months of dating, that she'd shown me exactly who she was, and I believed her. The relationship was over and she could find someone else to fund her lifestyle. Friday morning, I did something that turned out to be absolutely perfect timing. I'd been planning a personal trip to Portland for next week that I'd been keeping budget conscious with coach flights and modest hotels. Decided to treat myself to some actual luxury since I had $5,000 not being spent on handbags. Called the airline and upgraded my round-trip flights to first class. Extended the trip by 2 extra days and booked a suite at a 5-star hotel downtown. Made dinner reservations at upscale restaurants I could actually get into. Planned spa treatments and wine tastings and all the bougie experiences I never usually splurge on. Total cost came out to exactly $2,847 for the flight upgrades and hotel upgrade, plus another $2,000 for activities and dining. Still came out to less than Melissa wanted for one handbag. Sometimes perspective is everything when it comes to understanding value. Saturday was Melissa's birthday dinner, which I obviously wasn't attending. Instead, I flew to Portland first class with champagne service and actually comfortable seats. Posted stories throughout the day about the upgrade and solo travel experience. The dinner apparently went exactly how you'd expect when someone throws a tantrum about their boyfriend not buying them expensive gifts. Melissa had to explain to 15 people why I wasn't there and foot the bill for her portion of an expensive group meal. Meanwhile, my stories were showing champagne service and first-class amenities. One of her friends texted me later asking what happened. I explained that Melissa had demanded a $5,000 handbag and uninvited me when I declined. The friend said that was insane and she wouldn't have paid that either. Apparently, several people at the dinner had similar reactions. Sunday, I was posting stories for my hotel suite and the amazing restaurant I'd gotten last-minute reservations at, really emphasizing how much I was enjoying the solo vacation and peaceful atmosphere without any drama or financial demands. Melissa started watching every single story within minutes of posting. Then she began texting asking if we could talk when I got back. Said she'd been thinking about our conversation and maybe overreacted about the bag situation. Too little, too late, obviously. Monday, I posted champagne on the hotel rooftop with panoramic city views. Tuesday was wine tasting in the Columbia River Gorge with first-class ground transportation. Wednesday was spa treatments and fine dining. All experiences that actually created memories instead of just flexing material possessions. The best part was knowing Melissa was watching every update while probably regretting her ultimatum strategy. She'd chosen a handbag over a relationship and gotten neither while watching me live my best life without her drama. Thursday, she called crying. Apparently her birthday weekend had been a disaster. Several friends had questioned why she'd make such expensive demands for only 4 months of dating. The group dinner turned awkward when she couldn't adequately explain my absence. I made a mistake, she sobbed. I was stressed about money and took it out on you. Can we please talk about working through this? I was literally sitting in first class on my return flight, sipping champagne when she called. The irony was too perfect not to appreciate fully before responding. There's nothing to work through, Melissa. You showed me who you are when you made financial demands and threatened our relationship. I'm not interested in dating someone who sees me as a wallet with legs. She begged for another chance, promised she'd never ask for expensive gifts again and would be grateful for whatever I chose to give her. Said she'd learned her lesson about making ultimatums and valued our connection more than material things. If you valued our connection, you wouldn't have threatened to end it over a handbag. You made your priorities very clear and I responded accordingly. Melissa tried guilt-tripping next, said I was being heartless by ending things over one mistake. That everyone deserves second chances when they realize they've acted badly. That holding grudges wasn't healthy for either of us. You're right, everyone deserves second chances. You'll get yours with the next guy who's willing to buy you designer accessories. Just won't be me. The conversation ended with her promising to change and begging me not to give up on what we built together. I reminded her that what we built was 4 months of her testing my financial boundaries until she finally overplayed her hand. Got back home Friday to find she'd left a handwritten letter under my door. 3 pages of apologies and promises to do better. Said she'd been influenced by toxic friends who made her feel like she needed expensive things to be valued, that she'd rather have me than any designer bag. I threw the letter away without finishing it. Actions matter more than words, and her actions had shown me everything I needed to know about her character and values. Some people reveal who they truly are when they think they have leverage over you. The weekend was peaceful without constant pressure about money and gifts. Realized how much mental energy I'd been spending on managing her expectations and defending my financial choices. Being single was actually relaxing compared to dating someone with gold digger tendencies. Monday, Melissa showed up at my apartment building. The doorman called up to ask if I wanted to see her and I declined. She apparently waited in the lobby for 2 hours hoping I'd change my mind. Eventually left when the doorman told her she couldn't camp out indefinitely. Tuesday, she tried reaching me through LinkedIn with a professional message about wanting to discuss our relationship like mature adults. I blocked her there too, because using professional networking to circumvent personal boundaries is stalker behavior. Her friend Emma called Wednesday asking if I was willing to hear Melissa out. Apparently, she'd been crying for days and couldn't understand why I was being so unforgiving about one mistake. Emma seemed to think I was overreacting to normal relationship conflict. I explained that demanding $5,000 after 4 months wasn't normal relationship conflict. That threatening to uninvite me from her birthday unless I bought her designer accessories wasn't one mistake. It was calculated manipulation. Emma said Melissa had always been high maintenance about gifts, but usually backed down when guys pushed back. That she probably expected me to negotiate rather than actually ending things. Apparently, my immediate acceptance of the breakup caught everyone off guard. Maybe that's the problem, I told Emma. She's used to manipulating men who negotiate with financial ultimatums instead of walking away immediately. Thursday, I ran into one of Melissa's work colleagues at a coffee shop downtown. She approached me to say she'd heard about the birthday situation and thought Melissa had been completely out of line with her demands. Apparently, the story had spread through their office, and most people agreed that expecting expensive gifts after such a short relationship was unreasonable. Several women had told Melissa she'd sabotaged a good thing by being greedy and materialistic. She's been miserable since you broke up, the colleague said. I think she genuinely regrets how she handled things. I appreciated the update, but explained that regretting consequences isn't the same as understanding why your behavior was wrong. That Melissa was probably more upset about losing someone to fund her lifestyle than about losing me specifically. This morning, I got a text from Melissa's number that was obviously written by someone else. Formal tone asking if I would consider mediation to resolve our communication issues. Probably her sister or mother trying to help patch things up. I responded that there weren't any communication issues. Melissa had communicated very clearly that she expected $5,000 gifts and wouldn't date broke men. I'd communicated very clearly that I wasn't interested in that type of relationship. The Portland trip ended up being exactly what I needed to reset my perspective on dating and standards. Sometimes you need luxury experiences to remind yourself what actual value looks like versus empty materialism. $5,000 bought me first-class flights, gourmet meals, hotel suites, spa treatments, wine tastings, and memories that will last forever. Melissa wanted to spend the same amount on a handbag that would sit in her closet collecting dust. The whole experience taught me to trust my instincts about people's motivations and character. When someone shows you they're willing to manipulate you financially, believe them immediately. Don't wait around hoping they'll develop better values. Been on a couple dates since getting back, and it's amazing how much easier conversation flows when you're not constantly defending your spending choices. Turns out plenty of women appreciate thoughtful gestures over expensive purchases. Melissa apparently started dating some finance bro who bought her the Chanel bag for their 2-week anniversary. Her friend Katie mentioned it when we ran into each other at a bar last weekend. Said Melissa was thrilled to finally find a generous man. Good for her, honestly. She found someone willing to buy her affection and he found someone whose love can be purchased. They deserve each other. And I dodged a bullet by not becoming her personal ATM. The Portland trip photos are still getting likes and comments from friends who said it looked like an amazing solo adventure. Several people mentioned wanting to plan their own luxury getaways after seeing how much I enjoyed the experience. Funny how $5,000 can either buy you a handbag that impresses other materialistic people or a week of actual experiences that create lasting happiness. Melissa chose poorly and learned that ultimatums don't work on men who respect themselves.